the last hunt that I was on, I had a shot for the Audad pretty quickly, towards the tail end, and it went high over the animal's back. I wasn't really geared in, and the rifle kicked me so hard in the chest that it centered me, and I was like, oh, okay. But now we had to track because they were gone. And through the 5 laps that we took over this property, I was crunching through the mental of the why. Like, why am I here? And it was really breaking down any story that I had on the why. It was breaking down the story of, I'm going to feed myself and be able to feed myself and feed my family and my tribe and my community. And it was like, all that's bullshit. Not this time. This time for me was about engaging in death for life. That the understanding that those 2 lines are on the same line of polarity. The extreme of birth and death are one thing. They're in one circle, right? Where you draw the demarcation of a birth and a death, it's on there, but it's still the same circle, and really viscerally understanding that I will participate in killing for the sake of killing to give life, and it was a very, Kali energy, which is, something that's not, I haven't spoken a lot about it on this podcast. We've taught a lot about it in Fit for Service. But really, the energy of death and destruction to bring forth something new, and it was engaging with that energy for no other reason than to engage with that energy, and that to me was a first. And it was like, I had to agree to that before, or else I wasn't going to get an animal, and sure enough, as I'm grappling with that, like, no, it has to be more than that. It has to be something else. It has to be to feed. It has to be all these things. And I could see how easy it is for me to go into a grocery store and buy meat. Now, the bulk of my meat is consumed that way right now. Like, I'd like to say that the majority is game meat and the majority is the animals I hunt. And that's not yet the case. I don't have a freezer full of meat yet. Maybe that'll be the case one day. But even still, if that is the case and it becomes that way, it'll become that way, or it won't. But that's not the point behind it. The point is that I was being shown is I have access to that. I have wealth for that. It's not, the story and the narrative that I had used before to take an animal's life was that it was like I was dependent upon killing the animal for food. And that's nonsense. I'm not, I can buy, I can purchase, and there's no issues with that. And at the same time, if I could say yes and participate in that way with engaging with death's energy, that was my experience this time. And then that's what I needed to engage with this time. And as I said yes to that, our boy Barry's like 200 yards. And I'm like, the wheels are spinning in my mind, and I finally just acquiesce, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to engage. This is the reason I'm here.